A lot of years in Sheboygan. Tell us about your first game when you came to Sheboygan.
I played the first game in Sheboygan, and a guy from Milwaukee stepped on my ankle, and I couldn't play anymore.
Oh.
I went to work the next day limping with my lunch blocked. At noon, my brother-in-law Harry came. He looked at my ankle. He said, "Oh, we go to the doctor." So we went to the clinic and the X-rays. Nothing was broken, but it was. I had to get off my foot. But we came here. We had no money, so we had to work.
Yeah.
So I went to work limping.
Yeah. So you played. I know you played in Milwaukee, in the Milwaukee League a lot in those first years. I remember going with you, but then I also remember you playing, the Bombers and stuff like that. So what were some of the teams you loved to play against or hated to play against?
I was playing by the airport in Milwaukee against the Tigers, and I beat a kid, a guy, he was a big guy, and I beat him and I scored, and he comes up to me, he said, "Don't do that again." I said, "What?" "Don't do that again." And I played at the Bavaria field, my last game, and it was a young Stoppersville in the middle, and I beat him 4 times, I scored 4 goals, and he said, "Nobody scored goals against me." I said, "But I do, because I know how to do it." He looked at me.
But what clubs did you like playing against or really did not want to go play against them, or didn't it matter?
Oh, they were all okay. Some teams were a little rougher. Teams in Madison gave us many times a rough time because they were good players. We had our hands full, and then I was manager, so I took myself out to the second half to let everybody play. He said, "Don't get off, we need you, we need you." I said, "Well, everybody wants to play, okay? How am I going to lose?" I said, "Well."
So in Sheboygan you had a big tournament called the Kohler Trophy Games. What do you remember from those tournaments?
We had good games. We had a German guy, Bert Katzenberger, I played with, and we had good combinations with him. And so I scored a couple of goals. And one year we won the Kohler Trophy. And the president from the Kohler Company was there to present the trophy to us. And he was surprised that there were 10 people there in 1958, you know. He said, "Well, all the people." And we played a friendly game against Minnesota team, and they were tough too. I had a rough time to do any good stuff. And then we traveled sometimes to Minneapolis for tournament games, or we went to La Crosse one time, and we traveled a lot. But a lot of times we took the kids along, and they were good. Like if you were in a park in Milwaukee, John went fishing. There was a river there, and he kicked the ball around. But we always took him along. And one Sunday we said we were going to eat somewhere, and we were driving home from Sheboygan, and we asked the kids, "Where do you want to eat?" In Shelbyville, Shelbyville, Wisconsin. That's 20 miles north of Sheboygan. So we had to pass our house to go 20 miles to have dinner with the guys.
Yeah.
So those are the things to pop up sometimes, But they were good things. We wasn't always glorified, but we did it.
You got to see the World Cup games in Mexico too, didn't you?
And we went to the World Cup games in Mexico City with the guys,
Yeah.
with the whole family.
Back in the 70s?
We took our camping stuff along, and I had tickets for the game, and they went sightseeing or whatever, or watched it on TV. I saw 3 games in the stadium. A guy from the motel took me to the stadium, and we were at the last. It was the last game, and Brazil was winning or Argentina, and the aisles were full, the hallways were full. There were 20,000 too many people in the stadium. So I got up, I said to the guys, I'm going. Where are you going? I said, I'm not going to be here when they get up. I said, I want to go out.
Yeah.
I see you outside. That was jam-packed. And I learned that from my friend. He was in Holland. We rented a car, he went to Amsterdam or Rotterdam. We had a national game. And I said, we have a ticket to short. He said, don't worry about it. What he did, he had tickets, they put $10 underneath the ticket and give it to the attendant. I never knew, but I learned that. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
In Mexico too. Hey, we got there with the car that's full. But they put the gate open, they parked left and right and top of each other. Took us 2 hours to get out of the parking lot in Mexico City. And we went back on Monday to the stadium and showed it how big it is, you know.
Yeah.
And they were cleaning the stadium from the cans and soda, whatever. And they started on the top, and it sounded like music, all the cans came down. You remember that?
Yeah, I do. So, Tony mentioned something about the clubhouse in Sheboygan. You guys had this boot, right?
Oh yeah.
So talk a little bit about the boot.
Oh, they filled the boot up and everybody had to take a slug.
And filled it with what?
And then the guy who got the air bubbles in the bottom, he had to buy a new one.
And they filled it with, what did they fill it with?
What were you drinking?
Beer.
Yeah. And so you have this boot, you say, in the air bubbles what? To the toe?
I don't know, I remember the toe, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the toe. The air bubbles in, you gotta buy the next one.
So,
Yeah, he got many times, too many. Everybody was drinking too much, so she is the police was not looking anymore, you know.
Yeah.
One time 4 ladies were in the car, they went home. They came back in, we had trees laying there for parking. They got the wheels over the tree.
yeah.
And they came for advice, for help. So we went outside and we lifted the car up.
Yeah. Do you remember your last game here in the U.S., the last game you
No.
played? No, you don't? Okay. Part of why I was asking was it was up here in Appleton, Neenah area.
Eh?
Your last game that you played was up here in a tournament
Yeah.
in Appleton, Neenah. So, but you don't remember that? Okay.
It was not emotional, but it was okay. I had a good soccer time in life, and as a referee, I enjoyed a lot of the games I did. I had a lot of fun with Henry.
Yeah.
I remember one scene, you were with your team in Manitowoc. You came in, and he said, Tony, what about this rule? And you said the right thing. You're the referee, you should know. I said, Henry, don't ask questions like that. But Henry was that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a good friend. And a lot of good relationships, a lot of friends.
I remember one game I did with him, and he called a free kick, and he scored on it, and the rec department guy was there. He said, what was that? I said, I don't know, I will ask him. I went to Henry, I said, what's the call? Little push. I said, no, a push or no push? There is not in the rule book a little push. Oh, but I went back and said to the guy, it was a push. I didn't see it. Well, I had to back up Henry. I think.
Sure, yeah. He's pretty loyal. And a lot of kids are playing today because you got involved and went to those schools and the
No, it is.
kids out there.
But if I look back when I started in 1940, I had a lot of fun, especially when I played in the second division. And we didn't use the bike, we went with the bus out of town games.
The big time.
So one last story that I want to hear you tell. Talk about your playing in the army.
Oh, I was in Indonesia for 3 years and we played soccer. The natives are mad at me, us. They practicing and kicking in the sun. Anyhow, we had a section team, a platoon team, company team, and I played in the battalion team, the top 3 companies. And I was playing, and I said to my platoon commander, I can play today. So if you don't play today, you don't go to this game, okay? So I had to play, I played 4 different teams. So I learned a lot about soccer.
Yeah.
So when you played with the battalion, you've told me some stories about
Oh,
how you would get to the game and then get back. So go.
we were at a game tomorrow, but the day before we had a service between the city. It was truck. You sit in the back of the truck, so one time we were stationed far away. You fold up your bed and your blanket, and the truck came, and you sit in the back. And at night, in the afternoon, we came in the main city, and then sleep there. And the next day, you leave your bed there, but they brought a boat to the water, Surabaya, and the Navy was there with a boat to bring us to the mainland. And then there was another truck standing there, and they brought us to the field. But we were 2 days busy to play a game for the battalion. But yeah, I had no choice. You play there, there, and there. But it was fun. I survived. I came back.
And good memories. Yeah.
Eh?
You had good memories.
We left 2,000 people behind, but I came back.
Yeah. War, what is it good for?
Eh?
Well, thanks again.